Hi, my name is Peter Arends. I am CEO and designer of Bad Cat Amps, located in Costa Mesa, California. We're here at the Guitar Center in Hollywood in the beautiful and tempting vintage and platinum room. I'm here with our good friend Marc Ford, and we're here to show you our newest creation, the Bad Cat Jet Black. At the beginning, it started a little bit from the Black Cat template, but the Black Cat was supposed to be a very smooth kind of sounding. So what I was going for with the Jet Black was kind of like the rougher brother, targeted more towards the rock crowds. At the same time, I love the sound of big open cleans. So my starting point was channel 1. And once I finished channel 1, I was actually so happy with it that I didn't want to have two drastically different channels, but rather have one which picks up where channel 1 leaves off. I would say in that sense, the channel 2 is like an extension of channel 1. Let's start with a really clean setup. If we're going to want to go to the other side of the spectrum, then let's crank the channel 1.
Planes are beautiful, and the overdrive just sneaks in just nice. It just doesn't feel like it's falling apart. It feels like the flavor's getting, a little more delicious.
I know that you're a proponent of using volume controls on the guitar, so I mean it actually reacts really well with the volume control.
Right, which is important to me because there's way more sounds than just that one at the top, you know.
Yeah.
And this amp hangs with you whatever you do with the guitar.
Maybe you can show some stuff on the bridge pickup, that a little bit more aggressive sort of rock and roll stuff.
Right. There's a lot of information depending on where you're setting these knobs, and if the amp isn't there to hear the differences, it gets really frustrating. For me, I just want the clarity to be, no matter where I'm at here, I want it to be clear. I want it to hear everything that I'm doing, and this amp does a lot of that. I mean, that's characteristics of those tubes. It's fast, and it responds directly to your playing.
And you don't want the amp sound kind of imposed on you, but rather impose the sound,
that's a good
your sound onto the amp.
Right.
So to
it needs
speak.
to be listening to what I'm doing here, not me having to play a certain way to get this thing to do whatever it does.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can show the reverb side and the tremolo side on the amp. The reverb sits between a plate and a hall. I voiced it in a way that it doesn't get in the way with the signal, but is really just sitting on top or behind it almost. No matter how much you crank the reverb knob, it will never overstrain the guitar signal itself. The tremolo itself is a bias tremolo. The obvious advantage of a bias tremolo is it really is an effect in itself. So no matter how much delay or reverb you're using, the tremolo will take that away in the moment where it cuts the signal. And that is such a classic. I just love it. You could see that I sweep through the controls a little bit to give you an impression of the intensity and speed variations of it. Channel 2 is kind of an extension of channel 1 and gives you almost clean to heavier overdrive, I would say. It's not a high gain amp, I want to point that out. I think it didn't suit the character of the amp, but it goes all the way to pretty hefty gain.
Fun, hear all the notes, and I love the way it sings when it's. And that cleans up really well for the dirty side.
Can you show us how it is with the volume all the way up?
It's just got a pure voice the whole time. It never sounds like it's choking out. It sounds like it's open-chested, and it's very expressive. Like I said, it listens to what you're doing, and it's there for what you're doing on the guitar.
The way the EQ is implemented in the circuit, parts of the EQ are redesigned. I would start off with how the mid works.
Carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, and you can see that no matter where the control knob sits, it still gives you a valuable sound.
It clearly does a lot if you turn it up and down, but I haven't found a bad place. Like, there's usually a spot in an amp where it's like, well, don't go there because it's useless, but I haven't found it on this amp.
You're still on the search?
I mean, give me some time, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah. What's important to me is that an EQ in a guitar amp generally works more like a mastering EQ, I call it. I want an overall overdrive characteristic and then not change the overdrive characteristic itself with the EQ, but rather just add and take away certain frequencies. On this amp, for example, it's particularly recognizable with the bass control. When you turn the bass control all the way off, the sound doesn't fall apart. It's still there. It's just a different amount of bass. We had a Les Paul, Marc. How about switching to a Strat or
Single-coil work?
Single-coil kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Let's hear what this thing does into channel 1. So when designing an amp, it's very important to me to have the characteristic of the pickup shine through, so to speak, no matter the amount of gain. With a clean channel, that's obviously much easier. I think on the channel 2 side of things, we can hear how that translates into an actual amp.
It's all the beautiful mid-range, quick response of a Vox, of an AC30, not only being mid-range, like there's a nice big bottom support and the top end never gets harsh. It's everything that I love about an AC30 and some of the things that are missing that I think from an AC30 are built into this. It plays what you're playing. You hear what you're playing.
So if you want to find out more about the new Jet Black or any other Bad Cat amp, check out guitarcenter.com or go to your local guitar center.